Hi there YouTube, it's Musical Aviator here. We're at Canberra in the Dash 8 Q400. We'll be departing Canberra and just going through the startup and takeoff sequence. Hopefully you can actually see my mouse this time. This will be the third time I've flown this aircraft, so I'm still learning it, but getting better, hopefully. Getting used to how it works, and so we'll get started. First thing you need to do is push your throttle up to the DISC, because if your throttle's all the way back, that's maximum reverse thrust. You don't want to start your engine like that. I often just get rid of the yoke. Just click spot down there. You can see yoke with a cross through it. It'll toggle the yoke on and off if you click it. Right, obviously we're cold and dark. Is that frost on the window? I think it is. Anyway, it's Canberra, it's about 8 in the morning, so it is pretty cold. Probably saw from weather over there, there's a bit of a cloud hanging around the mountains. So let's get the aircraft started. First thing first, you have to turn on the battery. I go battery mains on, master battery on, all the lights come on, auxiliary and standby come back. Clear the warning lights, and these things will start warming up. You can see down there that's lining the IRS. It's got about 68 seconds left. Now I'm going to go down here. I've got the IRS to turn on, to nav.
Bank angle.
And that's obviously starting to come on now. So let's turn on the APU. I need to do the power test, so press down power. It'll say fail for a little while. All the little lights will go. And now you press down the start. That'll light up the starter. And we'll just need to wait for the APU to come on in. Meanwhile, all of these things are now running on battery power. IRS is still going. Aligning. APU is on. Let's connect the generator and the bleed air. Bleed air's come alive. Let's open the recirc fan. Now all the gauge and stuff are set. We're cooling the cabin. I don't want to do that this time. It's just the stabilizer cabin. That's flight computers, they can be called. Just do the cautionary test. That'll bring up a few things down there. Exterior lights, let's put the position lights on. That's the red and green stuff on the edge of the aircraft. That light right there. And that light right there. You can hear the APU, which is of course exhausting out that little hole there in the tower. Right there. As you come to the front of the airplane, you can't hear it so much. Right, I'm going to keep that door open now. Whenever you do open the door, you will get that alarm. Right, I'm thinking about what I need to do next. You have external power, you can do that, but we don't need it, we've got the APU. I think I'll just do the FMS. And here we have the on-off dim switch, which you click on both. You should see it light up slightly, and then you'll get this UNS1, UNS1. Just need to wait for that to run on. These are the radios down here, so we need to turn these on as well. That'll self-test and then come on. And change your transponder code here. You need to use that big round knob. We'll make it 2000 for now. And you press the button there to switch the code between 2000 and the standby. And if you hold it down for 3 or 4 seconds, you'll get the on. When it says on out, that means your transponder is on, and it also... Yeah, we really need to put that air on, don't we? Windshield on, warm up. Pilot side window heat on. So, looks like we really do get some fog on the windshield. Look at that. Let's open this stuff. Side window defrost is open. So yeah, weather in Canberra was colder than it was in Melbourne yesterday. So we get frost on the windows instead of when we were in Melbourne it was nice and warm and not humid at all. No frost on the windshields. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, continue down here. We're going to accept this. Let's see, date 23rd April. Yes, that's correct. Accept. Let's pause. How do we get to position page again? No idea. Maybe it's startup. Message. Anyhow, we're going to go into the flight plan page and enter our flight plan route. We're going to Canberra to Sydney, so we're starting off at Canberra, YSCB. Accept. Charlie Bravo for Canberra. Accept. Now we have to do that thing in list. Go to the airway. From Canberra, we're using Whiskey 122, which might be on the second page. There it is, number 7, 122. So select number 7, enter, and we're going to Binduk, which is number 4. From there we want to go back to list and airways. We need Whiskey 113, which is number 5. Select that, and we're going to Sydney, which is number 7. YSSY for the end of the flight plan. Accept. And that should be pretty much the flight plan. So we have Canberra, Binduk, Welsh, Odell, Sydney. Cool. Since this is such a short flight, I might think about the arrival route in Sydney as well. Departure route is pretty obvious. That'll be the Binduk departure. That's Binduk 2. Just going to check out the weather. So our departure, oh there's no wind, it'll be runway 35. So go to menu, arrive. No, I'm not going to use arrive, let's go back to menu. Flight plan first, menu again, depart, Departure will be runway 35, which is number 4. It's Binduk to departure, which is number 1. And runway 35 transition, which is number 2. Back to the flight plan. Let's see how that worked out. So let's check that. Canberra, direct, runway 17. Didn't I go for 35? Let's see, course 353, that's correct for our departure. Intercept to course 022, that is correct for Binduk. There'll be a no link there, and let's just get rid of that one. So you just have to click on the line select for Canberra, click delete again. Now we'll probably have 2 Binduks, yes we do. So let's delete Binduk, and then go up to the no link one, delete that as well. So now the flight plan looks correct-ish. Don't know why it has runway 17, but I guess we do fly over the runway 17 threshold before we're allowed to turn. So that's, imagine that's that. Course 353, that is correct, to 3,400. At that point we course 040 to intercept the 022 inbound radial to Binduk. Then we cross Binduk, fly direct to Welsh, direct to Odell, and then I'll put the arrival in also. So we go back to menu, go to the arrive, and let's just check the Sydney ATIS 03010 is the meta. So the meta says 03010 knots, unlimited visibility, clouds view 4000, temperature 16, QNH 1018. It's probably going to be runway 34 left. We'll just check it completely. As it's actually quite common at Canberra, you get your arrival clearance with your departure, just because it's about a 20-minute flight. I'm going to pick up the Sydney ATIS.
Delta, expect independent visual approach. Do not pass through assigned runway centerline. Runway 34 left and right. Arrivals and departures. Parallel runway operations in progress. Independent departures in progress. Wind 300 degrees 10 knots. Cav OK. Temperature 16. QNH 1019. Reported wind at 500 feet 250 degrees 20 knots. On first contact with Sydney, ground or approach, notify receipt of Delta.
So Sydney information, Delta 34 left is going to be the runway. So that's number 5. Now we're on the Odell 3 arrival, that's number 4. That's all we need. So from Binduk, Welsh, let's get rid of that first Sydney because it's wrong. Delete, and the first Odell because there's a second one there. Get rid of the link. Now it goes Welsh, Odell, Mitza, Glenfield, and that's radar vectors from there, or direct to Sydney depending on what happens. So I've got that all set out. I just need to check the electricals and stuff. Let's run the checklist. They give you a checklist here, that's not too bad. So, flight, deck, safety checks, documentation, yep, we've got charts and stuff, batteries are on, main bus tie, let's do that, main bus tie is now on. DC external power APU, we've got the APU on. Battery champs, that's what I was looking at down there. 22s, 29s, a bit higher than I expected, but they're still fine. Bus voltages. Here we have battery 0.6, 0.7, 0.7. Safety equipment, we can assume that's all checked. I certainly have an oxygen mask over there. There's 2 oxygen masks over there. Landing gear is 3 green, the lock is released. Lock is locked. Yes. Engine intake doors should be green. They're just black at the moment, but they do become green when we turn the engines on. I'm not sure why that wants you to have green engine intake lights now. Okay. Circuit breakers aren't simulated in this aircraft, although they will be on the Pro. Fire and smoke detection. Yeah, probably should do that. So we'll do the test, fire test. And that's working. That's also working. And that's also working. Good. Bleed air 1 and 2 should be off. And they are. APU bleed. They're on. That's that button right there, depressed. Maybe, I know what's happened here. Oh no, that's fuel. Last time I loaded the aircraft it had no fuel in it, but it does now. Okay, I'm not sure why the APU dropped offline, but it's on now. Generator's on. Cool. Recirc fans on, pressurization. Let's do that. And the altitude will be Sydney, so it's pretty much 0. 20 feet above sea level. The ignition packs checked. Emergency lights should be armed. And now, fuel transfer is off, parking brake is on, power condition levers to disconnect and fuel is off. Nose steering comes off, I don't think it is anyway, no. FMS is set, takeoff departure is all inserted. Okay, full start, trim set. We have takeoff trim, just got to put it in the middle of it. There we go. Obviously have other trims down here, that's the aileron trim and the rudder trim. Door and fueling lights, that would assume that the door is closed, so let's do that. Doors closed. Passenger signs can come on. Okay, cabin report received. We've got no passengers anyway today. Flight deck door is closed. Anti-collision lights coming on. That's the spoiling things. There we go. Red. APU bleed apparently comes off, battery tyres on. We're not doing a battery start, we're doing an APU start, so that's fine. I want the APU bleed to be off, so let's do that. While the cabin goes silent as the air conditioning goes off, and we can do an engine start. And you can see that suddenly goes, ooh, can't see out the right window now. Maybe that's APU bleed stuff. Okay, let's go engine number 2 first. We'll go normal. Select across there, engine start. Now we're looking for the NH, that'll rise to about 20. Now I just want to introduce a little bit of that. There we go, to that feather position. Engine start spinning. Prop RPM is 170, 90, 200. That stops at 210 until you push this up to the minimum. And we do that now. You can start to hear it now. Prop RPM is 480, 490. Should climb up. There we go. Right up to the green now. Torque 8%, prop RPM 660, and the starter's off. Okay, ignition on normal for number 1. Select number 1 and select start. Okay, NH is climbing. Wait for it to get to 20-ish. Let's induce the fuel to ignition. ITT rising. Prop RPM 120. See it running slow. Get up to about 200 and then just push that up to the minimum. That'll start the prop increasing. Get to about 500 and it should surge a bit up to the green. There she goes. Hear it again, and that looks about stable. Now we just look up here, we have elevator press. So what I've normally done here is just pull the elevator back and back to forward again and just hold it there. That'll go away. Pilot heat, we'll obviously need that. Generators are disconnected, let's connect those. Anti-skids. There's that one there. Get rid of that warning. Nose steering and parking brake. There's the nose steering, that's on. And the parking brake's the last thing to go. I see that our windscreens have cleared up again. We're getting some air from the engines. That one's still a bit fuzzy. Maybe if we can get into that seat and toggle this thing over there. There we go. Yeah, low level vents should be closed. With that so far, let's put the gust lock in so we can taxi. Apparently you taxi with the thing full forward. I don't know why I'd do that, but there you go. We'll be using flaps 10 for the takeoff. Taxi mode is on the spoilers. There'll be initial climb to 8,000. Okay, after start, external power APU can shut down, so let's shut down APU. Generators are off and power is off. Okay, that'll start running down. Main bus tyre is coming off. You can see those engine intakes are now closed, green. Condition leaders to max, auto feather should be selected in white. There we go, selected. Fuel pumps on. Hydraulics checked. Let's move on to the hydraulic page over here. It's down there, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. So, all systems. Hydraulic pressure in this area. Same as last time, we have the park brake on, the standby is off. 1 and 2 is on. Number 3 has a little bit of pressure. And quantities 1, 2 and 3 is good. I think number 3 is the standby, I'm not sure. Now flaps and speeds. That's right, we just need to grab that table out. Let's see. I'm just going to get rid of the yoke again. Select. There we go, 103. As well. 127. Good, and I'll select the nav source as EFMS. Let's cross-fill. I cross-filled the wrong flat pan into the wrong place, didn't I? Okay, so you press cross-fill on the one that you're putting the thing into. Now I get it. List airway 122, there's number 7, spin up number 4, list again, airway 113, number 5, to city number 7, YSSY, accept, menu, depart, number 4, number 1, number 2, enter, flight plan, over to the page where there's going to be a gap there, Canberra, delete, and delete the no link. Menu, arrive, 34 left, number 5, Hotel 3, number 4, plan, step through, get rid of Sydney, get rid of no link, and get rid of the duplicate. Rest is fine. Go to that page, and I'm just going to check what that looks like on the map display, and we're going to cross-fill that side. That's right. Camera to Binduk directly. Now I had this problem yesterday, didn't I? How do we fix that? Go to 2. And go to 2. There we go. Now I fixed it. Now if someone knows how to get the flight director to a takeoff mode, feel free to tell me. Is it on the throttle? Yes it is, on the throttle. Perfect. Alright, let's go. So we're going to go into, yeah, just the brakes off. Let's get that propeller ground range out of there, and let's start the turn. If anyone knows why that engine thrust is not holding together, I've only got one throttle, so one throttle should move both of them at the same time. Feel free to comment. We're on VATSIM, but there's no traffic at or air traffic control here at Canberra. Probably should have made that comment anyway. Let's do one. Canberra traffic, Q-Link 462 Delta is at Canberra, taxiing runway 35 for departure to Sydney. It's to taxi, brakes checked, takeoff warning, tested, takeoff power, NTO RDC, it's NTOB. Flight instruments checked. We should check full travel, just a minute. Elevator works. That's obviously working. Door dampener comes on.
Chevy, Q-Link 136 Delta, comes to runway 25.
Clearances cool, cabin secure. Let's go to the takeoff checks. They're calling it lineup checks. Anti-collision lights. Let's turn on the taxiway. Right then, anti-collision lights are in white. Let's put that on too. What's the barometer setting here? 1020. 1020 is set. Right then, landing lights are on, pilot static valve. Let's just check that's all up. Yes it is. That's cool. Yeah, bleeds, they're fine as they are. Closed, engine intakes. Ah yeah, that's right, we need that stuff on too over there. So I have them on for takeoff. And cautionary panel is clear of bottoms. Let's roll. Spoilers to flight. Traffic Canberra, Q-Link 462 Delta is rolling runway 35. Let's get rid of the gas slot. Get that throttle on up. Power set. Airborne, let's get airborne. Gear up. Gonna hit navigation mode. Hell no. Lap 5. Where did my map go? Laps up. Okay, that's the intercept to the bin dock. Okay, I'm going to go into speed mode on AS. I'm going to increase the speed up to 190 for the moment. Actually, we can go all the way, 200. Let's roll that after takeoff. We have landing gear is up. Lights are all out. Flap 0. Bleeds are all on. Climb power. Okay, we can reduce the climb power, which is at 900. That's the 8000, we'll climb further, flight level 190. Altitude select. Climb check. Not yet, not out of 10. Nice to see the windows have all cleared up. So all these things sometimes actually climb at 240, so let's do that, see if it's possible. Going through 10,000, let's do the climb checklist. Altimeter's 1013, parameter setting down to 1013 set. Ice protection, aeronautic cloud, that's cool. Pressurization. Okay, pressurization's checked. Cabin altitude's 200. Hydraulics standby PTU. That should be normal anyway. Fuel pumps off. And propeller control, auto feather is deselected. Climb checklist complete.
4 right, entry departure, yeah. Zero, or call.
That's ice detected. I've just put on the ice. We have prop ice is on, and the airframe mode is slow for the moment. Not sure if it shows you the icing from outside. It does on the top of the props on top. There we go, we got the textures back. Must be just slight icing. And the icing detection has gone off because we're out of the humidity. Okay, then let's go off and off. Okay, let's think about landing. We'll be landing at flaps 15. It's at Sydney Airport. So we want to keep the speed up nice and high. Ice detection keeps on coming on and coming back off again. Sleeping on to our cruise. Now we're cruising at flight level 190. It's going to take a while to get there. Not that long, where it is a Q400 after all. But once we do get there, it'll pretty much be up there for about 2 minutes and we come back down again. I did forget to do this. Lol. So we're now squawking, and you can see we're at TARA, so that'll be the TCAS coming back on. So we might just turn on some lights. Minus 13. Plus 13 on the fuel. That's nice. Outside air temperature is minus 11. Get that passenger side off, passenger seatbelts. Give the flight attendants a chance to throw some food at the passengers. Now it's a patient wait till we get to 190. Minus 2, right. So let's look at Sydney Airport. Just going to open a few charts here on my other computer. We inbound by the Odell 3 arrival, runway 34 left. Also get the apron chart on. Odell 3 arrival is probably the most simple thing you've ever seen. From Odell, you track 242 degrees inbound to Sydney VOR. At 20 degrees, you'll be at a place called Mister, and you have to be below 7,000 feet. Then you track towards Glenfield, which is in a straight line, still on the 242 radial to Sydney. And you keep following the 242 radial to Sydney until you get vectors. We don't have air traffic control, so we'll be self-vectoring away from about Glenfield into a downwind runway 34. Okay, the ILS at Sydney. 34 left is 110.1. So I'll just set that over here. That's set now. And of course the inbound course is 335. See that number there. ILS 2, 335 degrees, 110.1. Course is set by that button. Thousand feet to go. Check that in here as well, 110.1. And also put in the Sydney VOR, which is 112.1. Okay, let's have the approach. There'll be runway 34 left ILS, and I think it's Yankee. Yes, I'm looking at Yankee, so that's fine. Number 1. And transition, not really Sydney. Let's see if the Zulu has anything better. The same. Okay, we'll transition from Sydney, but we'll probably vector across. Set flight plan. GLF Sydney. Let's get rid of that first Sydney. Spin up. And that's the actual approach. Sausage is where we'll be coming in from. That's correct. Direct to it at some point. Cool. Let's do the VNAV. The only crossing restriction was Mr. at 7, so let's do that. Mr. is number 4. 7,000. Yep, that looks fine. Top percent alert. Engage VNAV. Ah, that's right. I have to reduce the altitude first. So down to 7,000. Actually, that's below the MVA at the moment, so 9,000. And select VNAV. VNAV is armed. And that's coming up in less than 10 miles, I'd say. At 10 miles to do a approach briefing, a complete one. So we're using runway 34 left at Sydney, off an ILS approach. We're using the Odell to arrival. So on the arrival, we cross from Binduk, and then we track direct to Welsh, then Odell. From there it's a straight in to the Sydney VOR, which is 242 degrees. We'll be using RNAV, so we'll be tracking direct to Mister. We cross Mister at around 7,000 feet. Then we continue on down to Sydney. At Glenfield, or before, we'll be making a self-vector to the right. Right-hand turn to track parallel runway 34, which is on 335 degrees. That means our heading will be 355. At some point we'll approach Sausage, that will be on the nav display. And we can do a direct to Sausage and then intercept the localizer from there. We're going to descent, reducing power now to maintain, let's go 250. Just going to make sure that the throttle doesn't get below idle. Otherwise, that happens. Okay, we're at 250. Just going to increase throttle ever so slightly. You do have to remember that this aircraft does not have an automatic throttle. Okay, we're at Binduk. We're turning now down the 242 inbound radial to Sydney. Seatbelt signs. Now be an opportune time to make an announcement to the cabin. It should go to the PA for. Say something along the lines of that we're inbound to Sydney now, and we expect to arrive in about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll be coming into Sydney from over Botany Bay and making an approach from the south. Currently the weather in Sydney is 16 degrees temperature. There's a few scattered clouds around. 20 km/h breeze from the west. Forecast for Sydney is a nice clear day. There won't be any showers forecast. A bit warmer than it was in Canberra. Hope you enjoyed your flight with Q-Link, QantasLink, and hope you enjoy your stay in Sydney. Okay, descent checklist. Pressurization is set for the arrival. GPWS flaps are set 15. Briefing has been done. Let's just review the MSA and speeds and that kind of thing. So, MSA for Sydney is 2007. Speeds will be, and have a look these up. Just be a moment. Put the MD, yeah, decision height is 200 feet. That's already set. It's actually 270 MDA. Let's do it that way. Put to MDA and roll it up to 270. Or decision height, you can do that as well. It's 256 in Sydney. Seat defaults to 200, that's a nice round number. For the V speeds, I'm just going to look up the metric speed cards. And look on the second page, we're doing flaps 15. Ice detected. It's already on. I think we're at 22. So the V approach will be 122 and VGA is, let's say again, it's 112, 112. Set that up, so press select and then 112 on this one. And the other speed VGA is 105, so press select again and hold on up 105. Speeds are all set, briefing is done, MSA is 270 and decision height will be 270 MDA. That is all set, descent checklist is complete. We're at 10,000, continue that descent straight through down to 7,000. Keep the speed at 240. Approach briefing, say approach checklist. Altimeter is set, and we need 1019. That is now set. Fuel transfer is off. Fuel pumps come on. Standby hydraulics and PTU. I don't know where that is on the panel, I'll have to research that. Might be down there. That's not sure. Anyway, standby hydraulics PTU meant to be on. Hydraulics checked. Hydraulics look fine to me. Passenger signs are on already. Caution panel is black and cabin secure. Next one will be the landing protection, so again the landing checklist. Just going to keep an eye on that temperature outside. It's +6. Yeah. Ah, that's right, that's because we're below 10. Yeah, that makes sense now. 240, nearly at 7,000. Let's continue down to 4,000. Altitude select is set. I'm just going to keep a look at that VNAV path, because last time it dropped me out at 7,000 or that altitude was at camera. I think it's doing that now. VNAV alert, vertical alert. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go IAS mode. Let's slow it down to about 230. So it'll be on vector soon anyway. Let's see what that map's drawn. Nah, not convinced. We'll use the vectors like we should anyway. Yeah, slow it down a bit more, make it 200 knots. We're about to go into a downwind anyway. Alright, there's a message here for us. VNAV disconnect. And let's do it. Let's heading mode 155. change over there, it is. Lots of it. I got 150, that'll bring it in nice and tight. A bit tighter than we are. See it pulled to the left when you add some power there. That's torque factor. It's going to move it to a little bit of a tighter intercept, maybe intercept from 3000 instead of 4. Maybe from 2500. Depends how far. I want 200 knots there, so let's adjust the power for that. Workload's a bit higher than in the 737 ring. That's because of that power problem. As in, it's a turbo problem, you can't have an auto throttle. Let's get that proper RPM back up to max. Protection not required, we're at, it's still +7. We're still around clouds. A bit of a cold day. Approach lights are on. Maybe if we descend to 3000 we can get below those clouds. Nav source to VOR1, which I want on 110.1, and the course to be 1 second 335. Okay, inbound course ILS is set. So again, 070. Let's descend 3000. 3000 set and IS mode set. Altitude selected. 190 knots. Actually, let's slow it down to about 160. Sounds better. Just for the intercept. Alrighty then, let's go into heading of 360 direct north. And we should be this intercept ILS from there. Get into 010, yeah, let's do it that way. Bit of a sharper intercept, but that's okay. It's, the approach mode. On 60 knots. That's running into a visual approach, so I can see the runway. Flap 5. Autopilot disconnect. Is captured. I'll just reduce the descent rate a little bit to capture higher the glide slope. That has been done now. Flap 10. Is that possible?
2500.
Let's leave it at flap 5. Till the gear down. Let's do it, gear down. Gear down 3 green. Flap 10. Flap 15. Letting checklist, master protection comes off. Landing gear down 3 greens, condition levers max, flaps at 15, blades minimum. Leads off for the landing, just in case we need to go around. slope on localizer.
$500.
Light slow.
1 dot low.
Light slow.
On center.
Plus 100.
Check.
Minimums.
Landing.
Minimums.
Getting the
100.
visual Varsity there. 2 whites, 2 reds. Such
50,
advantage rate
40,
is to move
30,
forward on the runway.
20. 10.
There we go. Brakes are on. Righty then. Flight directors are off. Spoilers into a taxi mode. Flaps up. Control lock is on. And inclusion lights to the red. There we go. Flap 0, weather radar off. Fuel pumps off. Spoils to taxi mode. Ice protection is off. Main bus tyre to tyre. Wall dampener is off. Half landing checklist is complete. That's where we're going, over there, where that blue thing is. lights are off there. Cool. Parking brake set. Let's go with the APU, I reckon, first. Power's on. Start. Let's pull one engine. Fuel off number 1. Minimum fuel on number 2. That's what the bus tyres for. APU generator is on. APU bleed air is on. And pull engine number 2. Okay, shutdown checklist. Parking brake is set. Pilot pump is normal. Power condition levers is disc. Nose wheel steering is off. Is now. Weather radar's off. Transponder standby. Blades are off. APU is on. Ignition levers, fuel off. Passenger signs off. And lights, we can get rid of the flashing red. Most of them are off. Alright. Lights is required, battery master is required. Cool. So one assumes that this aircraft will leave Sydney at some point and go somewhere else. So now we leave the airplane. Hope you've enjoyed that, and hopefully the mouse cursor has worked for us. And with any luck, that's given us some insight on how to fly the Dash 8 a little bit better. Certainly I've learned a little bit about how the VNAV works. And I'm a little bit more happy with that flight than the one I had yesterday in the camera. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed it, and come back again.